You guys, welcome into the live stream. I'm Superior Shelby. I am a 71% successful grant writer. I've won millions of dollars in grants, and I'm always coming on here on YouTube talking about how you can actually access this free money. And I'm very passionate about it. I want to thank you so much for joining and clicking on this video. If you're watching after my live streams, I do daily live streams around 9 a.m. Eastern time. So you are more than welcome to subscribe to the channel, turn on push notifications so that way you won't miss any of my live streams. Today, I'm going to show you a $10,000 grant. It's actually the Verizon Digital Ready grant. I'm going to actually walk you through the entire process so that way I can reassure you on what you need to have before you go for this $10,000 and also how you can apply and answer these questions, right? Most small business owners, matter of fact, there's 33 million small business owners in the United States, and 84% of startups don't go for grants simply because they don't know how to access them. They don't have the time to fill out the applications, or you're not feeling confident, right? You're not feeling confident in your answers, and that's a-okay. I dedicate my entire last 6 years to make sure I teach you how to search and apply to grants. And if you don't have the time and you understand how grants work, then you are more than welcome to hire me in my services where I write grants for you, okay? But if you want to learn how to write grants for yourself, I'm going to teach you what grants are, where you can find them. Then we'll go into going over this $10,000 grant. And then any questions that you have, I love an active chat. So make sure you drop your questions down below. And any scenarios, any challenges that you're having, I'm a business consultant, right? So that's what I do. I help you work through those challenges, give you some strategies, and we just start making money, right? Entrepreneurship and business is all about making money, making money. If you are a nonprofit and you're here with us today and you want to know how to access nonprofit grants, well, you're in for a really good lesson here. Everything that I'm talking about in this live stream, and all of them for that matter, they also are targeted towards you guys who have nonprofits. Now, I'm going to go over this myth that everybody's like talking about nonprofits have more grants than small businesses. That's not like a thing, okay? With my 10 years of doing this, I'm here to tell you that nonprofits and small businesses and startups, we all have an equal opportunity when it comes down to grants. So there's no thing about, oh, if I have a nonprofit, I can have access to more grant opportunities. Actually, that's a grant myth, okay? Startups, small business owners have a lot of thousands of grant opportunities. Matter of fact, with that 84% of startups and small business owners who don't go for grants every year, they're leaving over $90 billion on the table. $90 billion on the table. That's a piece of that money is supposed to be in your business bank account. So many of you are saying, I need to start my business. I want to start my business, right? I've been wanting to start this business since COVID, or I truly believe that I can start this business now because I've been affected by job layoffs during this economic time. That you're feeling like, but I need funding. Why not go for debt-free funding, non-dilutive? Non-dilutive means there's no strings attached, there's no credit checks, you don't have to pay it back, and you can go for these grants. Now, for those of you who are just coming in, make sure you like the live stream so that way the YouTube algorithm can push this good information out to other startups and small business owners who want to know about grants. I've been winning grants for 10 years. I'm a US certified grant writer. So some other myths I want to go over before we get deeper into what a grant is, all that good stuff. By me being a certified US grant writer, right, I've been writing grants all over the world for all different races, ethnic groups, religions, gender types, so many different people, right? And so even churches, nonprofit organizations, schools, I've won grants, millions of dollars in grants for different organizations, right? Now what I do is I travel the world. So I don't even live here in the United States. I actually live in Africa right now. And I'm here to tell you that when you decide that you want to hire a grant writer is supposed to save you time, and they will use their creative writing skills to help you increase your chances of approvals with grants. Yeah, though grants are not 100% guaranteed that you would win, it's a competitive thing. Just like how you aggressively need this free money, there's other people that need it too. But you can always be professionally and properly prepared before you decide to go for grant funding. And why not? See, proactiveness allows you to be productive. And entrepreneurship is not hard. It's just you have to be willing to grow and learn and, keep growing along the process and learning, right? That's the whole entire point and then making more money, right? So I've been getting some of these horror stories in my consultations where people are like, I've hired this one person from TikTok that said that they can apply to a grant for me for just like $20 or whatever the case may be. And this person scammed me. I never heard from this person again. Or I paid someone hundreds of dollars and they applied to a few grants for me, but I never even heard a response from the grant applications that they submitted. And I've also heard the horror story of I met this person who's a grant writer through Fiverr.com or through Upwork.com. And they said that they can get me a grant and they want 10 or 15% on the back end from my grant. As a United States certified grant writer, it is against our code of ethics to receive any percentage out of your grant reward. Your reward is literally a gift. So think about grants like someone giving you a birthday gift. That's exactly what it is. If someone's giving you a gift, just buying you like ladies, if they buying you a purse or something like that, that's a grant. Think of it like that. If you win the lotto, right, that's a grant. If those are grants, is simply a free reward that you can receive, no strings attached, that you can actually get from your state and local government. So let's say I'm from Miami-Dade County. So let's say you are from where I'm from. They might be giving out $10,000 grants to all women in Latino-owned businesses in Miami-Dade County. Okay. Then, so that's just like a state level grant and a local grant. Then you can get a grant from any other like private investor, right? So a lot of VC firms, investment capital funds, they give out grants too. So like I Fund Women, that's a very well known. Y Combinator, right? The people who did the investment fund for DoorDash and Twitch and Airbnb, right? Um, those are places that give out grants, right? And then you can also get a grant from like a big company. So Nike, Verizon, right? We're going to go over the Verizon $10,000 small business readiness grant in a few minutes. And then you can also get a grant from like Macy's, Sephora, Uber Eats. Amazon gives out a $10,000 grant every month as long as you have an Amazon seller's account. So for those of you who are in e-commerce, Shell's gas station, for those of you who are out there in the trucking business. Let's see, Sephora, right? For those of you who are into makeup and you're creating your own skincare products, right? Macy's, if you're doing clothing and fashion. These are all big companies that are actually giving out free money that you deserve. $90 billion left on the table is actually quite insane because so many people don't want to go for grants because they don't prioritize it, but then turn around and say, right out of your mouth, I need funding for my business. Why not go for grants? You're not wasting time. Let me explain to you how you're not wasting time. You can apply for a grant, and even if you don't receive the grand prize amount, you would still receive some sort of incentive, perk, or deal. So it could be, you could say, let's say you're saying, in your answers, you're saying, I need the $100,000 grant because 20,000 of that $100,000, right? I'm going to use the $20,000 into my marketing. So that way I can create more awareness and tell more people about my services and products. Well, if you need $20,000 towards your marketing strategy and you apply to this $100,000 grant and you don't get the ability to win the grand prize of $100,000, they may still give you on the back end $20,000 worth of Google ad credits so you can use the Google ad credits as a marketing tool for your business. And Google is still the world's top 5 leading search engine. So if you own like a pizza parlor, right, and you sell pizza, right, and people are like, pizza near me, you're definitely going to be top 5, if not number 2, that comes up because you get the ability to use that $20,000 ad credit that you got just from applying to that grant. In addition to that, when you apply to some of these grants, you become a part of what's called their email list or their funding community. So even if, and I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, I did a elevator pitch practice with Poker Power. Poker Power was giving out a $100,000 grant. I don't know if you guys see my community post here on YouTube, but I posted the winners. Like, did anybody win? Right? Because so many of us applied to it. So because I applied to that $100,000 grant that we talked about 2 weeks ago, I actually joined the Poker Power elevator pitch practice, and there was over 90 of us in this Zoom. By all 90 of us being in that Zoom, we all have the ability to speak to each other in the chat. Now, not only did I drop my link to my free grant writing checklist for those of you who need to know what you need to have before you go for grants, you can visit grantfully.org. That's grantfully.org. The link is down below. And by me dropping that link in the chat, right? I gained so many different people downloading the checklist. So now they're in my email list and I can market to them. And from that, I got over 5 consultations, paid consultations, right? That's a really good conversion. People also follow me on LinkedIn. And if you guys don't know, I'm building my LinkedIn following. LinkedIn is lit, okay, for us business owners. We shouldn't be on Instagram. We should be on LinkedIn. I'm 100% an advocate for it. So, but I didn't win the $100,000 grant. Am I in my feelings about it? No, because I still got a perk out of it. I still got a perk from applying to that grant opportunity. And I also got 5 clients, paying clients from out of that community. I would have never been able to have that opportunity if I didn't apply. So the myth and the idea or the mindset of I'm not applying to a grant because I'm wasting my time, this ain't for you. You might as well change your mindset about it. If you aggressively need some free funding, if you aggressively need some funding to start your business or to scale, or you can continue to have that mindset, be a part of that 84% that's leaving over $90 billion on the table. So the remaining 20 something of us that's in this live stream, we can go ahead and go for this free money that we deserve. You are, and your idea is good enough for you to be able to receive debt-free money. Grant funding. You just need to be professionally and properly prepared. That's why I give out my free grant writing checklist. The grant writing checklist is a spreadsheet of a list of like 10 things you need to have before you decide you go for grants. It's not hard at all. It's actually reassurance. And I'm here to tell you, most likely you already have majority of those things. I get that question all the time. Shelby, what do I need to have before I go for grants? This list is going to tell you everything you need to have. If you go down the list and you check everything off, you are ready to go. So let's talk about where do I find these grants. Okay, before I get into that, I want to shout everybody out in the chat. Welcome in. Make sure you like the live stream so that way the YouTube algorithm can push it out. First off, hey, Dennis, thanks so much for being consistent. I love it when I see your name in the chat. So, hey, BG's on YouTube. Hey, friend, good morning. Janelle, thank you for being here. Good morning. Wemo Lawns and more, thank you for being here. Sherry, good morning. Lupe, hey, what's up, friend? Cunt says, what's up? Let's say Benny Chris TV, hey, what's up? Anthony says, good morning. Randy says, good morning. Let me see. Stacy says, where do you get apply for these grants? So I think Stacy, what Stacy is saying is, where do you go to apply for these grants? No problem, Stacy. I'm going to answer that question in just a few minutes here. Hey, Roots, what's up? Yes, we're having a money conversation, free money for sure. Let's say Renee. Hey, Renee, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. Long time no see. Nicholas, hey, what's up, friend? Thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate you guys for being a part of this conversation. It's $90 billion that's left on the table. So where do you find these grants, right? So the 2 websites that I'm using besides the platform that, if you guys don't know, I'm building Grantfully, right? So that platform won't be launched until December 10th. I'm actually talking about that today in my free webinar. But you can visit helloskip.com. You download that app. It's blue and white. They have like a list of over like 30 grants every month, and you can visit grantwatch.com. So grantwatch.com. I'll show you what they look like here in a few seconds, and then we'll go right into the $10,000 Verizon Small Business Grant. I want you guys to drop your questions in the chat, any questions that you have or any concerns that you have about going for grants. I'm also going to go over some frequently asked questions before we go into this, because you might be afraid to drop your question in the chat, and I get it, but I'm here to tell you this is a safe space. Please don't be scared. Drop your question in the chat about grants and what you want to know about them so you can make sure you are prepared. Don't be no longer be a part of that 84%. Something that, if you guys don't know, I'm building Grantfully. Grantfully is a platform where it's a grant search engine. You will go in, put in your business information, you'll find grants. And then you'll have a full dashboard that you can track everything. In addition to that, you'll be able to hire the team to apply to one grant for you for just $30. The most affordable grant writing service and search engine, right? So by me building this, right, and in the it's pretty much it's actually already done. I'm actually going for investment capital. One of the questions that the investors ask me is, how are you going to keep your churn rate down? I thought about this deeply because I noticed with my 10 years of doing this, even when I did some small deals where I would, tell you guys, buy my $30 course, I would apply to a grant for you, right? Well, that was an exercise to show the grantor, the investors that this product that I'm building is actually needed. But I noticed that there was one grant, right? The Legal Zoom grant, the ASEAN Opportunity Fund, that was giving out $10,000. I applied to that grant for over 700 businesses, right? Within the 30-day period. By me applying to that grant for over 700 businesses, right? I noticed that those 700, a big majority of that 700 of those people, they did not come back. So what is it that I could have offered them, right? What can I give them that would make them stay and feel like like this connection, right, is of value. So I said, okay, cool. A funding community, but not just any funding community, one that every week we're going to have a webinar, one that comes with consultations. And there's not just me, but my team, my consultants who will be speaking with you and holding you accountable and making sure that you're on track with everything. But not only that, it's not going to be such a hardcore coaching, right? Or anything like that. It's more so of motivation and encouragement. So many of you all, especially that live in the United States, don't hear a lot of encouraging words at all. At all. You don't hear encouraging words at your job. You don't hear it at your grocery store. You don't hear it not even at church. I understand what it's like, right? Hearing encouraging words that can motivate you and show you that you can do it, and also give you a strategy that makes sense for you, right? And that you can execute and start making money. When you make your first $10,000, right, by being a part of this community, you're going to see more value in it and you're going to want to stay together. You understand? This is something that I thought about and it took me a while to think about. Also, when you're growing and you're making more money in your business, have grace with yourself because you can't become a millionaire tomorrow unless you actually was born into money. You understand? You can't, you don't want to rush it because rushing to get there can mean you can miss a lot of steps, a lot of lessons that will help prepare yourself to be in those rooms, right? So, um, I had to really think about how am I going to keep my people in my ecosystem. And that's one thing that Grantfully is offering, right? Which is a funding community. So when you guys get that free grant writing checklist, now you are a part of the grant gang, right? The Grantfully gang. And what we're doing is we're doing these weekly webinars. So today we have a webinar where I'm telling you diving even more deeper, right? In this live stream, I'm telling you about how to search and apply to grants, where I go, helloskip.com, you can visit there, and grantwatch.com, right? You can visit there. But besides that, it's a full 1 hour free webinar, and I'm actually diving deeper into my tips on how you win, right? And how to answer these questions. So these are going to be weekly webinars from me and my friends that we all own successful businesses from different industries in different parts of the world. And you will see value in being a part of Grantfully. So it's not just that grant search engine that you can use that's going to help you get, find those grants, but it's also a place where you can track all of the grants as well. And you can have someone apply to the grant for you for just $30 if you are a person that is interested in grants, but you simply don't have the time to submit applications. Okay. And it's the most affordable. The average amount that you pay to hire a grant writer is about $500 to $1,000 per grant application. Whereas Grantfully is that most affordable grant search engine that you'll be able to use and also have people do it for you. Okay. So yeah, I brought that up. What's another question that I get? I brought that up because I get questions about like, how do you do certain things as far as in investing? I did receive that question not too long ago. Can you use grants? So I get this question too. Can you use grants to pay back business debt? Yes. Matter of fact, in 2020, I was in major business debt because I took out one of those SBA loans of over $200,000 because I needed to keep business afloat. I lost a lot of clients during COVID, right? I lost a lot of clients, and applying to grants actually helped me pay back some of, or majority of, that $200,000 SBA loan I had already taken out. So yes, you can use grants to pay back business debts. You definitely want to specify that in your answers when you're submitting the grant application. Sometimes they have grants specifically for that, right? Um, I get questions. What's another frequently asked question that I get? Let me see if you guys have any questions here in the chat before we get into the $10,000 grant. For those of you who are just joining, we're going to go over the $10,000 Verizon small business grant. It's $10,000 that you can get. You have by December 10th to apply. I know you're probably like, okay, well, I can wait until December. No, first come, first serve. Don't even play with yourself like that. First come, first serve. Okay. Let's see. What questions do you guys have? Um, um, So, Stacy, I hope I answered your question. Where do you go to apply to grants? I go to HelloSkip or grantwatch.com. GrantWatch is $50 a month in order for you to have access. So, be mindful of that as well. Can you apply to grants? So, this person, I think it's like New Jersey or NJ. Can you apply for grants with $4,000 education debt? Yes, absolutely. Matter of fact, you can apply for scholarship grants that will help you pay back your scholarship, your school loans. So he says that, Lord, I need this and everything. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Let's see. What other questions do you guys have? So Stacy says, where do we go to get the free checklist? You can visit grantfully.com. I'll put it in the chat here for you. Is it one-time payments of $30? Yeah, it's so with Grantfully, when you want someone to submit a grant application for you, you just literally add it to your cart, kind of like buying something on Amazon, and you put in your card information and you submit the payment of $30. And you can track everything in a dashboard. You also get the ability to speak directly with your grant writer just in case you have any additional questions. So you could chat with them through the dashboard, or you can simply pick up the phone and call in. Okay. So yeah. So Janelle says, I don't know if it's my phone, but I can't select any courses for the Verizon grant. That was something I had a challenge with as well. But what I did was I cleared my browser, like my browser history, and then it was able to work. So you might need to do that. You can do it on your phone. You can actually clear your entire history on your phone. You can do that. Coffee Cups says, being a writer, is that considered a small business? So being an author, right? Yeah, you're an author, and you have grants that you can get from being an author. You're very welcome. So it's $30 for each grant. Yeah, and Grantfully, for each grant that you want to submit, you would actually add it. Today, actually, in a few hours, I'm actually going to show you guys the platform. I'm really excited. I have some signups. And so I'm not coming live on YouTube, right? This is in the separate webinar. And I'm going to be walking everyone through in the webinar, the free webinar, on what Grantfully looks like and what your dashboard and all that good stuff. So that's really cool. You have to be a part of the Grantfully funding community. How do you join? Well, you download my free grant writing checklist, and that's how you join. Things. You're very welcome. So here you go, grantfully.org. You can visit there and get my free grant writing checklist. It's free, and it's going to tell you all the things you need to have so you won't keep missing out on this $90 billion that everybody's leaving behind on the table. This year, I have won over $469,000 in grants for my clients. Yes. Right now, what I'm really focused on for me is I am focused on getting investment capital. So when I get like this investment capital thing and I get like my first deal and all that stuff, I'm coming back to tell y'all what happened and how that worked out, right? And I'm super excited about it because investment capital is different. There's so many different ways that you can go for it. And I'm going for millions of dollars in investment capital for Grantfully. So that way, this platform, the user interface, so pretty much the user experience is already good, very good. My development team is awesome, but I want it to be even better, especially with us having AI and stuff. I definitely want to add AI inside of it, so it costs, right? So with that being said, that the money that I'm going for in investment capital, I'm willing to sell or give a certain percentage um, of my company, right, to my investors. And it's been such a really great opportunity, right? So some of you guys should actually think about that. Imagine being able to have an investor that you can always ask money from and have like a guaranteed stream of extra income, right, and money from an investor that's already a part of the team, and you already gave them, let's say, 7% of your company. You can always reach out to them for more money, because the more money the company makes, the more money they make, right? So you shouldn't be afraid. A lot of people also don't get, I'm going to say this and then we're going to get right into it. Do not get emotional and emotionally tied to your business. That's not a good thing to do. If you are saying, oh, I wanted to start this food truck, and you are making a lot of money from this food truck, but you know you could potentially make millions of dollars every month from this food truck if you spread out and if you expand. But because you like to make cheesesteak egg rolls or whatever, or spaghetti egg rolls, whatever you're doing for your food truck, and you're working the food truck all the time every day, and you haven't moved yourself from out of working in your food truck, you're emotionally tied to the business. It's like being a kid and you have your own blankie, and you're like, no, that's my blankie. No, that's not how this works. You must be open to what your exit strategy is going to be. Investors want to know that. Also, grantors want to know that too. They don't want to hear that you're going to be working for your business for the rest of your life. That's not realistic. It's so many of us that are starting our businesses, but you're not even thinking about the exit plan. The only thing you're thinking about is, I'm going to buy a G Wagon. I'm going to be able to afford Birkin bags. And I'm also going to be able to buy all the jewelry that I want. And I'll get a high rise condo in Dallas, Texas. Like, no, expand your mind, because there's no way you'll be able to not only afford that, but also consistently afford the lifestyle that you are desiring, and to be able to create that financial freedom lane that you're looking for, right? And also to break generational financial barriers in your family, in your bloodline. There's no way you'll be able to do that if you are hoarding, or if you're being emotionally tied to a business idea that you are actually supposed to allow to flourish and be fruitful and create a full vine. How do you do that? You get other people in your business. You can't do it all by yourself. There's no way. You can't do it all by, there's no way. And I don't care about this, AI, that. Let me tell you something about AI, right? The people who are developing AI, even open AI themselves, is not only one man. Please, somebody in the chat, drop it and say, oh, only one guy created OpenAI. Absolutely not. He had an entire team of people and developers that created ChatGPT. And ChatGPT does not operate on its own. They have a full distribution headquarters where they have all these people working there to consistently develop it. They are not working alone. You still need people to be a part of your business. And if you are aggressively in need of funding to start your business, and you are aggressively in need of some money to be able to market your business or scale the business you already have, you have to be open-minded to getting investors, hiring someone that can be a part of what's called be your CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. Grantfully, I'm not building Grantfully by myself. I have a co-founder, right? I have a co-founder. I have a full developments team that's more than 4 people. I'm hiring salespeople. I have a chief marketing officer who she's also a part of my executive team. This thing is not, when you're talking about really building big business, you got to show up big. And it means you have to think bigger as well. And that doesn't mean that your food truck business is going to allow you to really get there. Actually, you cannot make hundreds of millions of dollars by being in that one location. Babes, you're going to have to open up multiple Pizza Huts all across the nation. And you have to be willing to accept people that is actually going to give you those avenues. Having an investor, like, let's say you guys, everybody in here, you guys have watched Shark Tank, right? Well, with Shark Tank, right? Imagine Mark Cuban. Imagine Mark Cuban takes a deal, right, with you. And the good thing about having one of those sharks from Shark Tank is that they have their own brands. So anything that they say is a go, it's gonna like you're gonna make money. If Mark Cuban takes on your idea and decides to invest in your company, one of the things that his team, because he ain't gonna talk to you directly for real. He's such he's a shark. He don't have time. His team is gonna tell you, okay, we're gonna pay for a launch party, and Mark's gonna be there. With Mark being at your launch party for your new app or your new restaurant that you're opening or your new party catering business or for your new beauty care line, skincare line for men, with Mark Cuban being at the launch party in that networking room alone, Mark himself, his team themselves are going to send out invitations to the big bucks, to the people that when they come in there, they automatically buy the bundle that you are offering in there. You might get some grants, you might get some donations, all that good stuff. Think of it like a fundraising situation. But that's the benefits of also going for accelerator programs, grant programs, as well as investment capital and VCs and stuff like that, right? You're not wasting your time when you are applying to grants. And I'm going right back to that simply because when you apply, even if you don't win the $100,000 grant that you're applying to it for, you get a team, like a full community, a network of people that allows you get the chance to network and market to them. Networking ain't just collaboration and partnerships. Networking is, I got this product and this is what I'm selling. And I noticed that in our funding community chats and in our webinars we're joining in, I noticed that, with the newsletter that we're subscribed to on Substack, I noticed that you have this problem. What my company does is we solve this problem. Scared money don't make no money. That's where I come. I come from that type. I come from that. Scared money don't make no money, friend. All right, so let's get to it. Let me show you Hello Skip, and then we're gonna go into the Verizon grant. Okay. Hey Kenyatta, thanks so much for being here. You're pure motivation, my friend. I pray, but I know you, but I know you will get that money for your business. Absolutely. God provides. How do we get how do we not get emotionally tied up in your business? How you don't get emotionally tied up in your business, Kenyatta, is actually focusing on the strategy of how much money you want to make, right? Being goal oriented. Because a lot of the times it'll be like, I'm very, you can be compassionate about it, but not emotionally tied to it. So, what I mean by that is, you can say, I'm compassionate about making medical wigs for women and for children who have suffered from alopecia or like have cancer, whatever the case may be. I'm really compassionate about making them feel good. I'm very compassionate about it. And I know that I want to be able to help as many people, women and children, as possible with this, including men, right? I want to be able to help as many people with my medical wigs as possible. So if you have that vision and that dream, being emotionally tied to that type of business, right? Let's say you open up a physical brick and mortar where people can come and buy their wigs, see them, and get the wig put on and stuff. You being emotionally tied to that physical location is not allowing you to. That's the example I gave. Like, it's like a kid having their own toy, and it's like, no, this is mine. This is my location. I open this location. By you being like that, it's not allowing you to flourish and grow and open up multiple cities, so that way you can help people nationwide. It's not allowing you to think bigger about how you can do things online and teach other people how to make their own medical wigs, so that way they can have an abundance of different wigs. It's not allowing you to help as many people and serve as many people as possible. So you being emotionally tied to, well, this is my first location I opened up. I don't want to move here. I don't want to move from here. This and that. Like, by you, and then consistently working behind the chair, before you know it, 30 years go by. It happens all the time, especially with women in the beauty industry, like doing hair and stuff. It happens all the time. You'll be behind that chair, 10 years will fly by like crazy, because you physically seeing the cash and the money that's coming in, but forgetting that you need to do the 50, 30, 20 rule, forgetting that you have goals, That's no different from being a street hustler that's doing a street pharmacy business, and you receiving the money and you paying your car note, you paying your light bill, you paying insurance, you make sure you got a new outfit so you can go out on Saturday or be at this brunch by Monday. That's no different from that type of lifestyle. You just making it look, you know what I mean? No, that's you still operating as like a hustler, and you're becoming emotionally tied to it because it's not allowing you. You're not growing. You're not thinking about ways I can help people nationally and internationally. When you said that you want to help as many people as possible. Another thing is being emotionally tied to like business, right? So I can say for my business, like business consulting. So for those of you who are like doing tax preparation, you're in your CPA, you're a business consultant, right? If you are repairing credit, you can say things like, "Oh, I don't want to hire nobody else because if I hire somebody else, then I got to share the money with them. I have to have a payroll. So you know what? I'll just instead of me hiring somebody else or hiring a VA, I'll just like schedule people and then also I'll fix everybody credit myself." That's not allowing you to have any time for nothing else. Because what you're doing is because you're not hiring a VA, an affordable one that can be on that's professional, that understands this industry, right? Because and you can't be cheap with buying with your payroll neither. Because you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. Okay. So by you not being open-minded to expansion, right? Because you are emotionally tied to the revenue or the money, or you're emotionally tied to this is my first office, you're not allowing yourself to think bigger. And that's where I'm coming from. Okay. You know what? Good example. One woman who's a really, really, really good example of this. I don't know if y'all remember her. I think she was like on Housewives or Love and Hip Hop. Ming, I think her name's Ming Lee. And Ming Lee owned like Snob Hair. And Ming Lee was able to build that brand so well that she sold it. That's business. That's business. Business is to be sold. It's to be sold. Granfully is not a business that I'm going to have in 30 years. No, I don't plan on doing that. Granfully is actually my exit plan. I've been writing and applying to grants for 10 years. Now it's time for me to transition it into a SaaS program, right? Now that when I have it as a SaaS program and I've been able to make hundreds of millions of dollars from it, I'm out. What happens is because I'm getting investors and I have an executive team that we all own shares of the company, I could just take my shares and be gone. So now what the company does is that the company, and one of the things that I would do is obviously I will make sure that I find a good president and VP to come in and replace what I've been doing. But the company will continue to run itself. How you think Walmart continue? The founders of Walmart ain't even here no more. You think they family just running it? No, the family is just reaping the benefits because the family is own shares. But nobody who's in the executive position is really a part of the family. Same with Keebler, Johnson and Johnson. So you don't get you the business. You have to have an exit strategy, and they do want to see that when you are answering grant questions, and they want to see like what's your plan? Cool. I have many questions. Okay, what's your question? Uh, I don't know if you should do that. Let me see. Preach. Thank you. Sis, you're so right. It ain't me. We give glory to God. Okay. God, I'm just a vessel. The Lord uses me. All right. Let me show y'all. All right. So you guys asked me the question, where do you go to find grants? Okay. So let me show you. You're very welcome. It's my pleasure. So let me show you. Most of you most likely know about Hello Skip. If you don't, I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so this is Hello Skip. Let me get myself together here. All right, so this is Hello Skip. Hello Skip is really easy to navigate, honestly. Let me go to the dashboard. This is what it looks like. And when you download Hello Skip or like as an app on your phone or whatever, it will come up automatically on your dashboard, like a lot of grants that you can apply to and other funding opportunities, including lines of credit, loans, and all that good stuff. Okay, so HelloSkip is a set of like a certified, federally certified nonprofit organization that helps startups and small business owners access funding. So that's what HelloSkip does. So it's really good to be a part of this community as well, right? And it's for free. So it's for free. They have AI. It says turn on grants to auto apply. That's AI. They'll apply to like 1 to 2 grants for you every month. That's using AI. I don't trust AI to write my story or my answers. So yeah, that's that. So what we are focusing on today is the $10,000 Verizon Digital Ready Verizon grant. So let's take a look at it really quick on exactly what they're looking for. I'm also going to, I have the link directly to apply in the description of this live stream. So if you guys want to have the link, it's right there for you in the description, okay? So it says, in partnership with LISC, Verizon is again providing $10,000 grants and online resources to give small businesses the tools they need to thrive in today's digital economy. In this round, they will be awarding $10,000 grants to 50 small businesses. Here's how this program works. Must first register with Verizon Small Business Digital Ready portal. You must complete at least 2 of the following in the Digital Ready program in any combination, that's courses, live coaching, or community events. Complete the above and submit your application by December 10th, 2025. I'm going to show you exactly what you are supposed to do in order for the $10,000 grant inside of your Small Business Digital Ready portal to unlock. Tips to applying. Mark interested when then complete the Verizon Digital Ready platform. You can use Skip co-founder to review the strength of your application writing. This is just something through Hello Skip. You can apply directly through Hello Skip, but I don't like to. The reason why is because I'm not confident. I'm not confident that applying through Skip, like I don't know if like the application gets directly there. You know what I'm saying? So you use Hello Skip as a platform to be able to find grants, but ultimately you can Google the name of the grant and it will come, you'll be able to find the link to it. Okay. So here's the link. I put the link in the description below. So let's get to it. You can visit digitalready.verizonwireless.com. Verizon has since 2021 given out $14 million in grants to small businesses, which is really cool. And they're giving 50 small businesses, this $10,000 grant. There's 31 of us in this live stream. That means all of us have the opportunity to receive this $10,000. Okay. You must be a US based business. You have to be based in the United States and you have to be 18 years or older. Okay. So how this works, you need to register first. One of our friends, Lunel, says, I've registered, but I can't. I need help with opening, like going through like trying to get through the classes and stuff. Totally get it. So let's sign up together. Okay. Let's start from scratch. So it says, let's find the topics that interest you. This is worth the time. Before I get into this, you're probably like, oh, this registration, this is like too much. I don't feel like doing this. You talking about I have to do 2 classes. I'm going to walk you through this entire thing. You're going to see it's worth the time. They're giving you education and they're giving you a community. Remember earlier in this live stream, I talked about the importance of having a community because you get the ability to market for free to those people that want your services and products. You need to solve their problem. And these are places where you will make that money. All right, so let's find the topics that interest you. Some of y'all need online marketing, website designing, right? Funding. Everybody's saying I'm looking for funding. Winning customers, right? That could be one. Let me I need some help in the chat. Y'all drop in the chat. Out of all of these topics, which are you most interested in? I'm going to click funding for sure because a lot of y'all are really here specifically because you're looking for funding. Give me 2 more topics. out of managing money, branding, online marketing, winning customers, wellness, strategy, cybersecurity, web design, social media, legal essentials. So that's like your LLC and stuff, operations, or I'm not sure. Drop in the chat right now which of these topics actually interest you. So we got strategy, web design. Okay, Talia. Coaching. Okay, so is coaching on here? We don't have coaching on here. One of these. And web design. Okay, we'll do web design. Okay, cool. All right, next. So you're gonna how do you identify yourself? You're just gonna click all that helps with your demographics. I'm a black owned company. I'm a woman owned business. Okay, or I prefer not to answer, but it's best that you click these because they'll be able to help understand or identify who you are. Where's your business located? So I'm physically in Tampa, Florida. So let me put a if you guys are if anybody here is from Tampa, you guys are more than welcome to meet me in person. Let's see, we're gonna put in our business name, Superior Solutions, into your email. All right, cool. And a password. Okay, cool. So we're trying my business. Cool, cool, cool. I'm not a robot, and we're gonna register. So it has registered. So, okay, and I got an email, right? I'm going to show y'all. They just sent me an email. Boom, you see that? They just sent me an email. So you got an email confirmation. Cool. It says, congratulations, you're now part of the learning community that can empower small business owners by providing access to education and resources. This program is about helping businesses like yours thrive. It'll teach you digital savvy strategies other businesses are using to get ahead. Networking, they have events, all kind of stuff. You want to join. You can sign into your account by clicking there, or you're already there, so it automatically logs you in, right? So now that we have that, you see that it doesn't say register here anymore, right? Because we registered. So we're going to scroll down and click apply. Now it says complete any combination of 2 grant eligible courses or events to unlock the application. 2. So we haven't completed it. So let's click the arrow. It says explore grant eligible resources. You're going to click here and it's going to bring you down to here. All of this is in your dashboard. Okay. So according to the topics that we selected when we were registering, they're bringing up courses that has something to do with what we, we're in, right? So we have recruiting, onboarding, and retaining the talent you need. So this is a 4-minute course. We'll click on it. Let's see. Let's see if it goes through. Okay, this is cool. Oh, so this is the actual, okay, you see it just uploaded. So this is it. Incomplete. Okay, so improve your recommendations. Oh, explore resources on top. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting off topic because I'm like going through all these things. Big tips. They got articles. Oh, they done updated their dashboard. It looks cute. Well, it's plain, but let's see, incomplete. Add an answer. What industry best describes your business? Okay, so you can answer these questions and then it will give you one. So that's like completing, but you don't have to do that. Explore resources topic. Let me see here. Sorry, I was late. What site are you on? Oh, okay. So we are in the Verizon Digital Ready. The link is in the description. So if you want to access the link, it's in the description. Let's see. In the chat, y'all said marketing, online marketing. So where is that? Let me see. Online marketing. Sorry, maybe I should. Online marketing. I'm going to click here. Let's see if the courses come up. The courses are supposed to come up in my library. Is this what you're experiencing, Luna, or have I gotten a little bit further than learning courses? Because it looked like they're updating their site because all of this was dark. It was black the last time I was on here. You're welcome. Give us some time to load, y'all. we need to go through the courses and complete 2 courses so that way it can unlock and we can just submit the application. That's what we're doing right now. Right now, while we're waiting on this thing to come through, what questions do y'all have? Any questions about what we went over today? Any reassurance that you might need? Drop it in the chat. And while I'm refreshing this. Conference. Right now, I'm actually like learning about topic. Let's see if we do funding. Because it might be a thing. Okay, yeah, it's not coming up. Are these grants available for startup businesses? Yeah, this $10,000 one is for startups. They're giving it out to 50, but we need to be able to get in here. Maybe we should just like email them. I like it already. Okay, cool. The problem we're having right now is that none of these. This is like where this line is. It's supposed to be the courses dropping down. So I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know. But what I'm going to do is send them an email. Well, we're going to troubleshoot this thing. I'm going to send them an email right now. I'm happy that I'm doing this because actually I was going to go over this grant as an example. I've never had this issue before, but I also noticed that they are updating their dashboard. That could be a thing. So let me see. Let me email them. Verizon and admin, Verizon.com. Let's see. Let me email them. I am having trouble with accessing the small business readiness courses. Please help so that I can unlock the ability to apply $10,000 grant. Okay, so I'm sending them an email because whenever they respond, of course, I'm going to let y'all know. And then we'll pick this up probably tomorrow because I don't know how long it takes them. Let me see. Is there like another whatever questions y'all have though, it's good to drop it in the chat so that way we don't even waste time. Let me go back into Hello Skip. What other grants do they have in here? Aurora Tech grant. I mean, I don't really like going over like small grants. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so these are quick tips. So I went into a quick tip one. Redeem a $200 credit towards a job posting in with a new Indeed account. Get 50% off constant contact digital marketing. They're giving out perks and stuff. This is what it used to look like. Looking for recommendations on how to get most out of it. Is you ready? Call this number. Okay, let me show y'all. Oh, we getting somewhere. I love troubleshooting. All right, so you guys might want to screenshot this in case you're having any troubles with your account. Let me get it together. In case you're having any troubles with your account. It says looking for recommendations on how to get the most out of digital ready. Call this 855 number to speak with an advisor. Advisors are available 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can call this number Want me to put it in the chat? I can put it in the chat too. Yeah. And it says, need some assistance. We're here to help. Visit our support center. So that's what we're going to do. Because what? Let's see if we can get some help like by just visiting the chat. We're here to help. Have a question. Getting started. Courses and events. Why is my courses not showing as completed? I need help accessing an event. Why is my event not showing as completed? How do I unenroll from an event? Missed event. Do you offer closed? I still need help. Consult a. Okay, so you still have to just call, or you can email us by clicking here. You still have to call that 855-890-0013 number. So get that number so that way you can call them. They're available from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern time. It just became 10 a.m. It's 10:15 a.m. Eastern time right now. They're available Monday through Saturday. I'm going to email them. Okay. And I'm going to let them know. Courses and events, and the same email I sent them. I'm going to just copy and paste it. Hello, I'm having troubles with accessing the small business readiness courses. Please help so I can help. So I can apply, or I can unlock the ability. There we go. Submit. All right, so I sent an email, but for those of you who are having this issue, give them a call. It says they're going to respond within 48 hours. If you can give them a call and you've already signed up, I'm pretty sure you'll get some help as soon as possible. For those of you, I would call them, but I don't have a US number right now to just call because I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone, and I'm from I live in Africa, so I don't, when I come and visit the US, I don't buy T-Mobile and stuff like that. It's just extra money that I just don't have to spend. So yeah, give them a call at the 855 number. Everything else, Hello Skip, I haven't really seen. You guys can visit helloskip.com and see if you can find anything else that works in your favor. 15% pledge, $100,000 to grow your beauty business. It says applications for 2026. Sephora's beauty grant 100K is now alive and open. It just opened. So they sent me an email. That's why it's good to be a part of these things. 1006 Scoop says, are these grants for startup businesses? I'm completely new in this space. Yep. If you're starting a business, there is $90 billion every year that you can have access to start your business. Winning a grant is kind of like, it is hit or miss because you are competing for this opportunity, just like against everyone else, right? And then a lot of the times is when those people win, you get the ability to speak directly to them because now you're a part of their funding community. Another good thing about applying to grants is that you get a chance to be able to get first dibs on the grants when they first drop, because now that they have your email, they're going to email you when a new grant comes. So that way you don't have to wait until the last minute to submit a grant application, because it might be a situation where it's first come, first serve. And what I mean by first come, first serve is literally first come, first serve. So may the first 10 people, 100 people get in, they got the grant until the grant exhausts. Or it can be a thing of, may the first 100 applications, that's all we reading. That's all we're reading. We're only going through the first 100 applications. And, may the best man win out of all 100, the first 100. For all the rest of the people who was like from 101, application 101 to the rest, we ain't reading all of that, right? And they don't use AI to go through everybody's application and to determine if they're not doing that. They actually hire volunteers, right, to go through each application. It's a full process. So that's why you want to apply to the grants as soon as they drop. Applying to it allows you to have opportunities when they first come out. So applications are open right now so for those of you who are in the beauty industry, $100,000, you get $100,000. You get pro bono consulting support and recognition from 15% pledge, their gala in Los Angeles, which is on February 7, 2026. You have by November 28th to submit these $100,000 grant application. They need an application. They need the application information that you're going to put in. They need the written application questions, the elevator pitch. So that's pretty much like a 2-minute video, and your pitch deck. And they need your financial performance and P&L statement. So this is for businesses who are already generating revenue. If you have something like a skincare line where you sell like soap for your face, you might sell like a physical tool that helps you keep your face clean, whatever the case may be, or actual like lip gloss and eyelashes and stuff. This $100,000 will be really good for you. You just need to express how you use it and all that good stuff. Okay. All right, so you guys get my free grant writing checklist. I always get this question, what do I need to have before I go for grants? You can visit grantfully.org. By you visiting grantfully.org and getting my great free grant writing checklist, it also gives you the ability to be a part of the Grantfully funding community, where every week we are doing a webinar. Today, we're having a webinar at 12 noon, and I'm going to show you guys the Grantfully platform. I'm also going to show you guys my different like ways of how I win grants. This year alone, I've won $460,000 in grants for my clients, and you can do the same. Okay, so we are not a part of that 84% that's leaving that money on the table, and you shouldn't either. I have a beauty business but haven't launched yet. Okay, you have to launch. $100,000 they want to give out. They want to see what's your traction. If you have a beauty business, what have you done so far to create awareness around it? And it doesn't mean that, oh, you already have products ready to sell. Do you have an email list? Have you gotten people? Do you have like some small, little gifties for free that you can give out, and you've received some surveys and some responses about, what your product is like, right? So they want to know what's the traction. What is the traction? But for this particular $100,000 grant, you have to have generated revenue, all right? But you can go for other ones as well, especially through Sephora. They give out a lot. Have social media, but making products takes time. Yeah, that's why you need the money so you can hire people, right? Social media, that's cool. But how do we know that your product is good? It might suck. You can have social media, but you could be a scam. So that's like so it's like traction is like what I'm doing with Grandfully, right? I'm getting on these live streams, and I'm also speaking to different people in different funding communities and saying, hey, I'm giving you guys a free grant writing checklist. Visit grantfully.org. You can get a free grant writing checklist. What you're doing is you're getting the free checklist. I'm giving you something for free, and I'm also building my email list. In addition to that email list, right? Sending you guys weekly emails, daily emails about different grants that you can apply to, some business information, right, on how to strategize, some business tea, if you will. And I'm also offering weekly webinars. And it's not just me that's doing these webinars, right? It's other people that you'll be learning from. And when you come to the weekly webinars, the more and more you come to the weekly webinars, it will grow and it will grow and it will grow and it will grow and it will grow. As it is growing, that traction that I'm able to show is I'm able to show I got over 100, let's say over 100 people that has signed up and got this free grant writing checklist. I have been able, out of that 100, right, within the first month of us doing these webinars and stuff like that, we've been able to get all 100 of them to join, whether it was on Tuesday or a Saturday weekly, right? And we've also been able to help them get prepared for and get excited about the Grandfully launch. We've asked them questions, we've given them surveys, and in that survey, in that question, right? In that questionnaire, we're asking them when do they want to start applying to grants? Would they like a platform like this? And they're all telling us yes. So that shows that this service or this product, right, is needed because we have collected over 100 surveys in 30 days that's told us from different people all across the world, not just the United States, but from the UK and from like Cyprus and from all these different countries. And people are saying, I would love to have a platform where I can easily search for grants that serve in my favor, have a dashboard to track it, and pay somebody a low cost fee to submit the application. So low cost that it's literally the cost of my lunch for work. That's traction. So we have a social media too, but nobody's like Instagram. Nobody's on Instagram searching for grants. How do I know that? Because I do my market research. Like nobody's searching for grants on Instagram. Instagram, if I'm not driving in a G Wagon or a Rolls Royce and talking about how important grants are, nobody's looking at it. Then they're barely even looking at that. Because lifestyle creativity creator there it's not Instagram's not a thing. So LinkedIn. So if I'm like, okay, we have a LinkedIn community, which honestly you are all welcome to join the LinkedIn Grantfully funding community. And I'm like, okay, we're doing newsletters and we're having conversations in there and we're growing, showing that I'm growing the LinkedIn community, which makes sense because my target audience is business owners, right? That makes sense. It still funnels through. It still shows the traction. It still shows what I am doing. So it's not just, oh, I opened up a social media and I built it to 1,000 following. So what did you do with those 1,000 followers? Did you offer to give them a free sample? And when they took the sample, what did they say? And okay, so if they all said that so if, out of 1,000, you got 100 of them that said, okay, we like your product, we don't like it, whatever. But let's say out of 100, 80 of them actually submitted this, not even submitted, but just said that they like it. Well, how did you actually record that? Where is that recorded? Did you send them a link for them to fill out a survey, a Google form, or did they go on Google and do a Google review for you? So that way it can show on Google that you got 80 responses that these people like your product, right? Did you tell them to give a good review through your Etsy or Shopify account? And what you did was you can do something like, here's a strategy I'll give you. You can create a batch, a large batch, and give out small, like hotel size, you know what I mean, lotions and stuff, right? Whatever your product is, a small sample. In order for them to be able to have access to that sample, what you want them to do is you want to send them a link to your e-commerce. So you can use Etsy, Shopify, or if you have an account through Wix.com, whatever. But I like Etsy and Shopify, right? And say you send them the link to your Etsy. What's going to happen is the Etsy link is going to be free. Then you're going to be able to collect their information, their phone number, and their email. So now you're building an email list. And then they're going to be able to get on Etsy and they're going to give you a review. You have recorded everything and done everything all at once. That's traction. Kenyatta says, how can you find out if the business you're launching is a lucrative business? By doing the research. Doing market research means actually getting on, you can even use ChatGPT, but using Google or using a search engine and learning about the particular industry you're getting into and how much money you can make. So say you want to get into doing something like AI, or Kenyatta, you can tell me what it is, but say you want to do like an AI driven business and you want to create um, cartoons for like Christian cartoons, right? That tell stories from the Bible, right? And say you want to do that. Well, in order for you to determine if that makes money, it's very important for you to understand what platform are you going to use to be able to upload the Christian cartoons, right? How much does it cost you to be able to have these platforms to develop the cartoons itself, right? And how much money could you make from a video that reaches a certain amount of views? That's called doing market research. I know that we can be in business for us to make money, and it's like, but you still have to have a strategy on how you're going to make that money. A lot of business consultants don't get into grants or don't write grants for their clients simply because it's like, I don't know how much money I can make from it. Well, really, it's offering an additional service in addition to you doing business consulting. So now you're providing more value to your client, which keeps them in your ecosystem. And what you do is you do the research and see how much on average does a grant writer charge for per application? How are they charging? How are they charging? What is their business model? That's exactly what I wanted to do, teaching and learning about God's will. Yeah. So you figure out exactly what avenue you want to take. If you want to, if you're, who is your client type, right? So is your client type like the youth? Is it children, or is it all people of all ages and all genders and stuff like that, right? And if so, if it's all people, right? Well, then you have to take a look at, how can I market it to as many Christians in the world as possible? So what is it that is it books? Is it physical books? Is it like I said, online, like a cartoon? How are you teaching? Are you going to do like Sunday lessons? One person that I can give you a really great example of is Megan Ashley, the podcast. She's got a whole podcast talking about, God's teachings. Another person that I love to watch is Stephanie Okafor, right? Where they have podcasts and they talk about the importance of following Jesus. And, in all of these different scenarios. And you might think it's like preaching, but no, it's kind of like women Bible study. You know what I mean? So what avenue are you going to take? If you're going to do podcasting, well, how much does Christian podcasts make? What is their business model? And what's going to make you different? One thing Megan Ashley does is she does tours. And not only does she do tours, but she brings on guests that give them that offers things to her audience as well. Right? Stephanie Okafor does world tours, not just national. She does world tours, right? And she goes from Canada to Africa. She's African. I think she's Nigerian. To Africa, she goes to these different places. But she's also using the money that she's receiving and donating it to different causes like food banks in America and in all these different places. Think about which avenue are you going to take, because you said I want to do teaching and learning about God's will. So how are you going to actually do that? And once you figure out how you're going to do that, then you do the necessary research to figure out who has made the most money and how can I be able to do that? Also, when you are being led by the Holy Spirit and you doing God's and you putting God in it, right? It's not about money. So, you know what I mean? It's just not. Anything that has something to do, God don't care about money. God is the Almighty. You think God care about how much money you got, and if you financially did right by your family when you leave? No, He looks at your heart. So a lot of these Christian podcasts and stuff is also not as nonprofits. So your first question was, how can you find out if the business you're launching is a lucrative business when it's like, are you just in it just to make money, or are you in it because you're passionate about teaching the word of God to as many people as possible? Okay. Anybody else have a question? Let me help you out. Look, it looks like we went into a strategy session that really quick. I'll help one person out that's having one more person that's having an issue or a challenge or whatever challenge you're facing, and then we'll move forward. I'm actually waiting to see if there was that I get. Okay, perfect. Good. I love that. Anybody else? Drop your questions in the chat. Drop your concerns in the chat. This is what I do. Actually, I'll be doing this on the free webinar today in about like an hour and 30 minutes. Make sure you get my free grant writing checklist. The grant writing checklist is literally supposed to prepare you for this free money. Don't be a part of that 84% that leaves over $90 billion on the table simply because you don't believe in grants or you don't know how to access them. This grant writing checklist is going to give you the list of all the things that you need to have before you go for grants. And you can also visit HelloSkipGrantWatch.com so that way you can have access to grants. Okay. I have a full like 10-minute video that teaches you how to and what's like platforms I use to go and apply to grants, right? So you do have that free information there on my YouTube.